Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Be a part of the never-ending quest to see it all. Let's go back to 1982, and we're currently playing every video game released at some time in May. And we last played Super Blockbuster, the last release of the first console to have interchangeable handheld cartridges. Let's press forward and see our next game. It's time to go to the arcades in Japan, and this is Super Mouse, the release of Taito's latest arcade game. As far as artwork goes, all we got is screenshots. I tried my hardest and darndest to find anything that could in Japan for Super Mouse, but couldn't find anything, so let's just go to the arcade and play. At sometime in May 1982, by Taito, we got Super Mouse. Taito! Here we go. What in the world? Oh, I gotta change my view. Looks like it's Chuck E. Cheese, but like a European version of Chuck E. Cheese, whoever did the artwork. That is Charles Edward Cheese right there. That's him. And they're doing the attract mode for Super Mouse. Let's put a coin in, put a couple coins in, and start it up. Oh, we do have some tunes. Okay, there we go. It does match the color, I guess. The artwork that we see around the outside is something fan-made, so it's not a genuine Taito artwork, but it still kind of fits, I guess. Anything we can have for Super Mouse. So this one's very similar to Donkey Kong, or we heard it on one of the articles that it's a Donkey Kong-style climb game. And this one has no jumping, so the only button I have is to drop a bomb when someone's chasing me like so. And then what you want to do is pick up everything, gather everything up, drop it in the bin, so that they have just different items scattered around. And bear in mind, this is before Mappy has come out. Why is my bomb not going up? Do I gotta hit the button again? Oh, okay, nice. Cool, so it is not proximity mines or bombs. It is, I can detonate them whenever I want. That's great. So you just make your way around the maze, gather everything up. What is that, a tree? I'm guessing? Drop it in the bin, and let's see if we can collect everything. I think they're going to trap... Yeah, they trapped me in that time. Those cats are smart. Alright, so going in again, down the stairs over here. Grab an eggplant, why not? This is one I'm not familiar with. Since Donkey Kong, honestly, everything that tries to get close is still not as good. This obviously doesn't have jumping, but probably takes more of an homage to Space Panic, which was pretty popular in Japan, and it looks like... Oh, we already had the game over. Does it save? No, it doesn't. So you got to pick everything up and go from the beginning again. All right, let's try a different approach. There we go. Now I know how the bombs work. You can push that, and that's all we have as far as controls go. And drop. Nope, not going to do that one. Let's see if we can go there. Now, the only place that you can cash in your items... Oh, nice. So it has a chance to drop down on something like in Dig Dug, and I missed the opportunity. I didn't know. It looks like, what is that, a croissant in the top left? It drops down and kills everyone, similar to the rock in Dig Dug. I don't know how I got that one out. All right, so a cat's coming in now. Let's see if we can... Nope, not going to happen. Top of the screen under Player 1 shows you how many bombs you have left. So the other games we played similar to the Donkey Kong motif, this one doesn't have jumping, but it still is doing something pretty well of having you maneuver around, kind of like a maze, gathering items, and bringing them to one spot. Die! Oh no! When the cat dies, you gotta wait for them to finish their death animation. Otherwise it counts. Well, didn't know that. Alright, so we got 2 items left. Let's see if we can go to the next level. Oh, wow. You do need to know the maze pretty well. Super Mouse isn't very super. He has no attack except dropping bombs whenever he wants to. All right, one more try for Super Mouse here. Let's go down this side, pick those up. Even without the jumping mechanic, this is still a very charming, very fun arcade game to play. I still remind myself, if you were in Japan, though, you'd have to think of all the other arcade cabinets you could be playing at this point, and this one wouldn't be up there as far as one of the best arcade games you could play, but it's still well done. Let's go pick another one up. I had that cat there. Let's take him out. Okay, that time it worked, so you have to wait for him to finish the whole animation before you can walk across. And we'll go to the top here. I got plenty of bombs left. I think I need to start using them more. That cat down. There we go. Okay, looking all right. Still have no lives left. Oh, and there's also traps. So they've added a few pools of things here and there. To tell you the truth, though, of all the games we've seen in Japan, this one is not doing anything particularly well or different. If you think of all the arcade games we've seen, though, so far, this one's still okay. Especially when we play everything from other countries as well. Doesn't it feel... This game feels like it's mappy, but we haven't seen it yet. There is no mappy. It doesn't exist. Come on, take the bait. Wow, there we go. Take another one? Yes. Look at the cat waiting. I don't believe it. Yeah, I've wiped everybody out. I don't know if I can get the apple at the top and come back down. That would be all the items. Let's see if we can do it going down the ladder this side. Okay, the cat took the bait, and then let's see if we can go across here. There we go. So we completed the first level. Let's see how much it changes the next time around. Please press shot button. Oh, that's so cool. So Super Mouse has a slot machine in between. Yeah, I'm able to control just pushing, and it randomizes that, and you get points for it. Nice. So a cutscene that, well, not a cutscene, it's a game in between the game play. So nice touch. Super Mouse adds the slot machine in. Very lucky, macho. And then it goes to the next level, switches up the traps a little bit. Same plan as we had before, but a great time. I'd say still for Super Mouse, of all the arcade games we played, it's still pretty well done. I'm going to go above average. I'll say 3.5 stars for every arcade game up to this point. It's still an alright time for 1982. And with that, let's press forward and see our next game. Here we go on the Commodore VIC-20. This is Super Smash. Another game that almost made me think of Super Smash Brothers, but no, it's not that at all. It's just Super Smash. Let's take a look at the artwork for Super Smash. It is tennis, right? The World Championships at stake. As a finalist, you have the cat-like reflexes to return the speeding ball and take the crown. On your toes, this is racquetball at its toughest. So it makes you think it's going to be racquetball, right? We're going to play some real racquetball. This one is cartridge, so we're going to pop that in our Commodore VIC-20. And we also have the manual for Super Smash. Keep us on our toes. Nice front of the box. And then instructions for use. As usual, when we play the Commodore VIC-20, it gives us hints of adjusting the screen position, eliminating screen flutter, and then the strategy is control paddles, moving left and right, sending your paddle to smash beneath the ball, sending it back toward the wall, smashing through blocks. You got 3 different game modes, normal, special, and progressive. And then the controls are just move and fire using paddle controls with score for all the blocks. And then the other side is just in French. And I think, oh, then the other one is check out all these other exciting Commodore games, which I'm pretty sure we've checked out most of those. We've seen everything on the Commodore VIC-20 thus far. For other versions, we just have some in the United Kingdom and in United States. Let's go to the US to play Super Smash. Released sometime in May 1982 by CBM. Now, this is another breakout clone. It gives us the point values as usual. Paddle becomes half when the ball hits the ceiling. And there we go. So now I have the paddle plugged into our Commodore VIC-20. And if I say go, we can pick normal, special, progressive. Let's go special. And if we do player mode, this is just alternating play. So it's not 2 players at the same time. So I'm going to just say 1 player. And we are in. So, oh man, it feels so good. We've had a lot of different breakout clones, but it feels much better to have paddle controls. That's the way you should be playing breakout. I mean, this one is as smooth as, if not better than Super Breakout on the Atari. And playing on the Commodore VIC-20 still feels really, really good. Fine-tuned controls. Let's see if we can break through there. Yeah, we played a lot already as far as breakout clones. We're not done with breakout clones, but this one's a really well done one for the Commodore VIC-20. And what makes it is that paddle. Paddle control is what you need to do. If you had it for the computer, why didn't you program for it? Oh yeah, and it's already speeding up fast. You got to be a pro. Play some real one. Yeah, this is just, it plays so well. Feels really, really good. So at this point, it's the formula we've seen switched up a few times. Oh, it sped up on me really fast. How much different can you make a breakout game? And we're going to see that, of course, later with Arkanoid. But as of right now, we've seen it's flipped on its side. We've seen 2 players simultaneous. We've seen competitive play. A lot of different ways to change it up. But this one's still just pretty much bare bones, but making it a very good experience. Good gosh, though. It sped up so fast. It all of a sudden just says, go, and goes as fast as it can. Maybe it's because I did special instead of the other one. All right, so let's do normal. And see if that one keeps the same speed or it does just jerk fast to the next mode. I mean, look at this. For a Commodore VIC-20 game, it looks and plays really, really well. Oh, look at that. Oh, so smooth. We played so many games without the paddle. This feels like another world of a breakout game. Maybe just because I played on special, it was speeding up. And they said if you make it to the top of the screen, your paddle halves in size, increasing in the difficulty. But what you see here is pretty much all you get. There's no 2 players simultaneous. The game modes, when they talk about progressive, just means the blocks slowly move their way down. But that's it. There's not a lot of variations like we saw on Atari home computer and the Atari VCS. But the play control is so nice. Yeah, it feels really good. All right, so that's Super Smash on the Commodore VIC-20. Of all the computer games we've seen up to this point, I'd say it's an above-average title, just because that play control feels really good. You can play a lot of good breakout. So if you could play every computer game like we have, would you say this is an above-average computer game? Or would you say Breakout's old? It's 1982. This should be an average game or a subpar game. Let me know. So after Super Smash, let's see what our next title is. Yeah, that's right. What it does well. Here we go. Going to the United Kingdom on the ZX Spectrum. This is Superdeflex. Let's take a look at Superdeflex, starting with the artwork. So at the front of the first box or example is a giant llama, which means it's by Jeff Minter, computer software. And then the other one that we have is the Superdeflex. No llamas. I don't know. I'm with Jeff Minter. Put more llamas on it. Maybe it sells more, right? And then you flip over the cassette tape, and we have a few other pieces of artwork, what you saw on the edges, and then an example of the screenshot. So for other versions, we have just 2 different alternate versions. We're going to play the first one of Superdeflex by Jeff Minter and Llamasoft at some point in May 1982. Now, if you haven't tuned in, Deflect or Deflex or Slashball, there's been a few of these style game, and here's the newest one. There we go. Use the beeper on the ZX Spectrum. We've been hearing a little bit more ditties before games. This is great. So we want some instruction. Let's push I. Meet Sid, the silly space invader. He's fed up being shot at laser bases, so he's run off to join a new game. You will guide him through 9 terribly torturous levels of Superdeflex. You must learn to control his motion, guide him into prizes for maximum points. You'll be working against the clock and against fearful hazards. Press enter and I'll... Interesting it says enter, because on the ZX, I think it's New Line. Well, that was the ZX81, but I guess enter will work too. You guide Sid to success or failure using the keys N and M. When you press N, you get that slash placed in front of him. When you press M, you get the other slash. You're just using both slashes. And those are going to bounce him around the different places. And every time he bounces against one, it switches the thing out. So this is kind of cool because we played this before, the same game, without all this cool instruction. So nice touch. Press enter and I'll tell you more. Oh, the Specky can handle more llama, and it will get more llama, that's for sure. That's all fine and very easy, except there's lots of barriers and control gets quite difficult, and when it hits, it turns into another one, so you find yourself blundering in a sea of barriers with no hope of hitting the target. Don't panic, because if you use 10 bats in a row without hitting a target, I'll send you a friendly llama to clear the screen. That's a nice touch, so we actually get a llama in the game. You're going to meet nasties on higher levels, extra barriers. So they have lots of instruction. Oh, and there's Grud the droid. Every time you deflect Sid, Grud will move toward your target. If he gets you or Sid, say goodbye to Sid. There's also landmines. Hit these and kerpow. And then you got oil rubber. Old rubber. You find clusters of extra deflectors appearing too. There's 10 targets per level. Your aim is to get Sid safely from level 9. You'll be given a score rating depending on how far and how long you took. So there you go. Let's do it. The sound, though, is a nice touch. Having any sound is a luxury right now. Oh, it does sound familiar? We hear a lot of public domain here, so I'm not surprised if it's something public domain. It doesn't ring a bell to me. Which level? Let's go on level 1. Yeah, they do. All right, so there's Sid. He just bounces back and forth, and then as soon as you're ready, you make one deflect. There it is. And let's do another one. Oh, and he deflects the other direction. So when he comes back, he's going to bounce against it, change it, and then bounce down and change the other one. There, like that. Oh, and I pushed the wrong one because I always mix it up which slash is going to go which direction. Let's see, he'll just bounce back. Yeah, there you go. And there you go. Level 1 is well, the first part of level 1. So now you keep adding slashes, and it adds more ways to bounce. So you see I bounced in there. Actually, I'm doing fairly well, but it's an interesting idea. It's more like a puzzle game where you are leading the bounces and have to think ahead of time. You also have to be really good with the slash and how it bounces off. So I'm going to have it come back and see if I can hit it the right direction and go. No, I missed it. And now he's way off course. So I think if you hit, it said if you hit one too many times, a llama is going to show up and just clear the screen. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it. That's what I thought too, that this would be from an arcade game. We did not see this as an arcade game first. And there's contention on whether this was Jeff Minter or a previous developer or on the TRS-80 color computer. So where this came out first, I believe, was on Ohio Pacific or mainframe systems. At least the idea. Go. Oh, wrong direction. So when he comes down, I guess you have to think of the opposite slash that's going to bounce in, because it's going to switch the direction out. There, that did it. And it keeps adding the slashes, and they stay on the screen the whole time. So you can see we're still on level 1, but it's a great idea for a puzzle game. I like the idea. Very simple and works really well. It doesn't do anything that really pushes the boundaries of other computer games you could play. But I'm still going to say, we've seen this before. I'm going to go around the average range. It's 3 stars, a perfectly average title for all the computer games you could play at the time. Maybe with more llamas, we'll do that next time. All right, so after Superdeflex, let's see where we're going now. We're still in England, and this is on the Nascom. Let's play some Surround. Another title that came out in 1981, technically, and this one has no artwork, just a few screenshots. Let's pop or slide in the computer chip and play Surround. By Level 9 Software. Surround your opponent with tracks that leave behind. Controls are W, A, D, and X. Let's play a 1-player game, but if you wanted to, you could do a 2-player. You can see I'm on the left side now, and this is pretty much a light cycle game, if you wanted to call them those. The snake games are the ones that you eat something and you get progressively longer, but this one just continues to keep going, like Surround or Bigfoot Bonkers or a few other ones we saw in the arcades. Haha, I won. Another game, yes, I would do. 1 player, let's do speed 5. So you can see you can go faster and faster. Let's see if I can block this guy in. I think I got him there. Nice and easy. Oh no, I went inside. Another game, yes. So it's the same idea we've seen before, all on keyboard, but it is 2 players simultaneous. So if I do a 2-player game, let's go really fast. You can see there it is, 2 players simultaneous using the keyboard at the same time. So huddle around your Nascom and play. We had another title like that too. The right player crashed. Do we want another game? Yes. Let's do 1. Let's go max speed. Oh, wow. Max speed is literally max speed. It's instantaneous. So not going to do that. Let's do 5. Come on. There we go. Oh, he won again. But still all right time if you want to play a light cycle style game. So Surround works pretty well. All right, so I'd say of all the games we've seen up to this point, especially for 81, it's still around the average range for computer games. So I'm going to go 3 stars for Surround. It's still a pretty average time for 1980. Well, that was 81. So for 1981, I'd say. All right, let's press forward and see our next game.
Here are the controls.
We're playing it all. Here we go on the Commodore VIC-20 is Tank Wars. Let's take a look at Tank Wars, starting with the box. There it is, in cartridge as well, with I think that's it. All we got is a screenshot. Let's pop in Tank Wars by Gunter Koch. HES did this one, Human Engineered Software, at sometime in May 1982. So this one has 2 loading sections, and we've seen a few of these where you pop in the cassette and it loads the first part, and then you want to load the second part. So I'll show you the opening, but then we're not going to wait again for more loading times. I'm not going to give you guys the full 1982 experience of waiting 5-10 minutes for games to load. Not here. There we go. Using whatever they can on the Commodore VIC-20 sound. by Gunther. Ooh, yeah. And getting the background of Flash. Very nice touch. You steer your tank with your joystick. You got trees that look like that symbol from the VIC-20, and then mines. Hitting a mine will blow you up. A tree will stop your tank and fire. A lake will stop the tank, but you can shoot through it. You can always start moving the right and restart with S. The enemy is very evasive. Good luck. Hit any key. Do you want to center the screen? No, we don't. And we are good to just load instead of waiting for a long time. Okay, we got 5 tanks. Let's go. All right, so this one is a tank variant style game. I am playing as the white tank, but the only thing is it doesn't have tank controls, which is kind of bizarre. Every other tank variant we played has had tank controls. This one allows you to go in 8 different directions, so you can see I even have diagonals to move around. Just ran into a mine there. It's using tile-based graphics, so that's why we have the little jerkiness from one to the other. That's me running into a mine again. And if I wanted to fire, the shot you shoot out kind of goes in a forward direction. Oh, and there's also wrapping around the screen. But there's my enemy. An artificially controlled black tank is also moving around, and I'm supposed to be blowing him up. Currently, the enemy is winning just because I ran over so many mines. But you can see that it's a game that you can only play one player. It's not, you cannot play with another a person. Which, if you had a few minutes to kill, you know, wanted to boot this up, I guess you'd be using the few minutes for it to load. But then after it loads, you'd be able to play a tank variant against an artificial intelligence, and not have to wait for a buddy on Combat, on the VCS, or any of the other ones we played. Armor Battle on Intellivision, lots of different tank games out there. Now this one, as far as movement goes, is very nice. It moves pretty smoothly. The aiming, though, and firing, terrible. It feels like I don't have a lot of control or power of my shot, which is why it's really difficult to get a handle on how to play it. Plus, with the tile-based system, the aiming your shot's pretty difficult. And we've seen better tank games on the computer, and we've seen way better tank games on the console space. But as far as all the tank-style games or computer-style games, I still say Tank Wars is going to be a subpar game. I want to go 2.5 stars. It could be done better for home computers, specifically for the VIC-20. We've seen it better here. All right, so after Tank Wars, let's see what our next game is. Here we go on the Apple II. This is Teleport, the newest release for the Apple II. Let's take a look at Teleport, starting with the box. A very generic box. You playing as a white zombie-looking guy with a spacesuit. Oh, okay, and you're dragging the androids away through the teleport. But notice how you can barely see the company in the bottom right, and it just says a sticker, Apple II disc. This is by Mike Abbott. Way to go, Mike. You flip over the back of the box, though, and no help there. It's just barren landscape. Boring box. And then our 5 1/4 floppy disk. This is by Cavalier Computer Corporation. I always see when I have a phone number and address, I want to send them a message or call the number and see what's happening now, because I know most of these are defunct. With an example of the screenshot, no manual for this one, so we're just going to pop it and play some Teleport. By Michael Abbott, Cavalier Computer Company, at sometime in May 1982. Yes, there's more of that coming along. Okay, so it starts off like an arcade game. They have an attract mode, and bear in mind, we're playing on the Apple II. You can use keyboard or joystick. I got my Apple II joystick plugged in. And the way this game works is you're supposed to stun the robots when you fire at them. Once they're stunned, you can drag them into the teleporter. And the teleporter is displayed by the symbol that's currently on the right. And the teleporter constantly moves in different places. In a way, this game reminds me of Warp and Warp that we played in the arcades, but very slimmed down. All right, so let's go. I'm in. It feels the way I walk. That's why it makes me think of Warp and Warp. So whenever you fire your gun, is this gonna... Yeah, he coons up, and now I need to drag this guy to the exit, but I cannot shoot. My fire does not work while I'm dragging someone to one of the teleports. Oh man, the teleport moved. Get him over there, quick, quick, quick. Got him. Okay, so he travels in that teleporter, and now I'm having to run away because the... Oh, there we go. So as soon as the enemy gets taken away, I can try this warp. Do I? Oh, I warped into someone else. So the warp just puts you in different random places around the space, but this is what you have. This single screen area is all you have for your gameplay. And as soon as you shoot somebody and stun them, I don't think, yeah, your gun doesn't even work. You have to drag them, so it's very limiting as far as gameplay. Once they're tied up, your gun just stops working. I don't understand what that means. So you can see they come in, and I think, yeah, I'm not even able to fire. I have to get into the teleporter and then dodge everybody else. And you can see how many enemies are on the screen. There's so much here to... Ooh, I have a star? What's the star do? I don't know what the star does. Alright, I'm just run away. Yeah. So the idea of capturing and sending enemies to another area is a great idea. How it's executed here, though, just doesn't give the player as much freedom. I'd expect maybe you could like cancel out, like not capture, and then your gun could work again, but no. So it has, like we've seen with plenty of games at this time period, it has ambition and ideas we haven't seen before, but it just doesn't execute them very well. There we go, got one. I don't even think I can get him through. Okay, we got one here. There's the teleporter. So the teleporter is also random. So how you walk around is going to be random every time. Let's take this one, and it just warped us over on the side. Not very far, but you can see, look how many enemies there are. You can take this one. Let's see if we can drag him in here. And we got to get over to the teleporter on the right side now. Since it constantly changes and it's random, it's just very difficult to manage. So as far as how the game looks, it's great for the time. And it should play something similar to Warp and Warp that we saw in the arcades, but it's just a little too limiting. Let's see if we can get this guy in. Go. Got him. Nice. And so every time you teleport aliens, that's where you get your score. High score is currently 450. When there's the star at the top. So this is another one of those games that if you saw the screenshot on the back of the box, well, it wasn't on the back of the box. If you saw it in advertisements for Teleport, it would look exciting and fun. But then when you play the game, you realize this isn't really what I was expecting. I mean, look at my laser to shoot. It only goes this far, and the laser only stuns the enemies. So in a way, it's a precursor to games we're going to see later that allow you to capture and take them somewhere or do something with them. We haven't seen many games that do that, but just this one just doesn't do it very well. All right, so that was Teleport on your Apple II. I'd say of all the computer games we could play at the time, in one way I want to say it's around the average range, but because of how I wouldn't be able to last very long playing this, and not because you want to get used to it, but because it keeps you limited. I'm going to go 2.5 stars, so below average for all the games you could play on a home computer at the time. Yeah. It isn't that bad. It's cool that it works with a joystick. It's just, it's lacking the gameplay. And with that, let's press forward and see our next game. Back on the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. This is Through the Wall. Let's take a look at Through the Wall. This one has no box, just a few screenshots. And for other versions, you can see it has some alternate releases. Let's pop in and play Through the Wall by Scion Software, published by Sinclair Research. It's sometime in May 1982. Now, when we said the Sinclair ZX Spectrum came out, it actually was when the first time you could order it. This was a mail-by-order computer. And most of these computers, people didn't get until 6 months later. So all these games we played so far on the ZX Spectrum were if you were one of the lucky ones that got the system like as soon as it was available. Maybe you went somewhere to pick it up, because most of the time people were waiting for the system and didn't get it for months later. All right, so stop the tape. We're ready to play. Hitting the key to continue. This is a basic program, illustrate how to program, blah, blah, blah. So it's a basic one. P to move right, O to move left, and any key to start. Go! It is breakout again. Wow, okay, so it is more tile-based, not as smooth, no paddle control. Kind of weird after we went from one breakout from one computer to another one. Not to bash the ZX Spectrum, but you can tell that this one is slower paced and not as smooth as the other breakout games we played so far on the show. The other thing to consider is this is one of the first games we've seen where the ball is animating when it hits the paddle. That's the very first time we've ever seen any breakout game take the ball and make it a little like squish in on the paddle. So that would be my only plus I could say for Through the Wall. Other than that, though, it's pretty much just breakout, but it's not, of all the computer games you could play at the time, there's better breakouts. I mean, come on, there's no paddle. To speed up, I got to hold another key down on my little spongy ZX Spectrum keyboard. All right, so Throw the Wall, that's all you got. But, however, this is a system that's brand new. If that's all you got, you'd be enjoying Throw the Wall for a long time. But for us, we'd say of all the computers you could play, it's still subpar. 2.5 stars for Throw the Wall. It works for the most part, but we've seen better. Yes, Breakout again. Oh yeah, that's true. The color is done very well for that one, considering the time. I mean, this is right in the beginning of the ZX Spectrum's life. All right, now let's see what our next game is. It's time to go back to Japan and the arcades and check out Time Tunnel. Another one by Taito. Let's take a look at the advertisement flyer for Time Tunnel. Oh yeah, there we go. That's classic Taito. Symbols in the top left, and then example of the arcade cabinet. They got the cocktail version, but I mean, trains are big in Japan, and this would have sold a lot of people to play a train game. We've only seen one other one that was more of a sliding puzzle game. It was called Locomotion. This one is a completely different one, but same idea of a train style game. And then we flip it over in the back, and it's in English. Move the steam engine forward by pulling the joystick up, backwards by pushing down. So you can actually move the train forward and backwards. You can switch direction by pushing the button. Tracks will be switched only when the train is approaching. Following the prologue is the rural scene, and then if you can get through that, you can go through picking up randomly located passenger cars and entering the time tunnel. And if you enter the time tunnel, you go through a total new time and space to play a train game. It's like sci-fi trains. Don't run into cows on the track. Avoid contact with opposing trains and aliens. You don't want to hit those aliens. And then the second scene, the city scene, is a different train station to pick up all 9 passengers. And the third scene, locate the spaceship that occasionally stops at the different space stations and bring your train there. After successfully loafing off the passengers, you'll return to the first scene where the action is sped up, as usual. Yeah, and that's true. Another one from Sega is coming later. Man, oh man, as we go through time, playing the time tunnel. There's an example of a recreated version of the arcade cabinet. There's the arcade PCB. And for controls, yeah, it's just a 2-way joystick. Move up, move down, kind of like you're controlling as the conductor of the train. And then one button for switch. There's the arcade marquee and an example of the screenshot. Here we go. Let's go to the arcades and play some Time Tunnel by Taito. Sometime in May 1982. So yeah, it begs the question, which one came out first, Super Mouse or Time Tunnel? We don't know. Maybe we never will. So the attract mode begins with showing you how to play on the different levels. There's 3 main levels in different places of time, and then you're supposed to pick up passengers in those 3 places. All right. 1982. Please insert yen now. All right. Let's put some more coins in. And if we play a 2-player game, it is not simultaneous. It is 2-player alternating play. So it didn't lose out by not having a guest tonight. Here we go through the tunnel. Now, when you first play this, if you are in front of the arcade cabinet, you're holding up and the train slowly moves forward. Oh, see, I'm trying to explain the game and you just ran me over. Nice idea with using the lives. It shows them on the starting track and then they pull into the tunnel. So you move forward holding up, and if you want to back up, you just take the joystick and go back. Oh gosh, there's like some rain cloud coming at me. But then you have fuel you want to pick up here. If you want to go into this house here, you want to back up and then pick up any passengers here? No. Oh, okay, that house. We'll have to find a house with passengers. Oh, back up. So you both want to be able to use the switches correctly and using the throttle correctly. So I would say this, of all the train games we've ever played on the channel, this one is the best one. Or the most fun, too. Because you're able to switch the tracks out and move the train back and forth. So I'm looking for, where's the house to pick up my... Oh, I think it's back here. Hold on. Back it up, back it up. Nope, not that way. Okay, he tried to do it. Not a chance, buddy. There we go. And then you pick up the cart. So you're looking for more of those, and then when you get enough... back up! You got me. When you pick up enough of them, then that barrier on the right side goes away, and then you can pass through. Trains were very big in Japan. Almost as big, maybe even bigger than baseball. And this is another title that would have been very, very popular. If it came to America, I'm not aware of it. You can see that the text is mostly in English, and the way that it works is the font usually wasn't able to display Japanese text. And so they just made most of the games in English. All right, I think I got a cart down there by the cows, which will be tricky to get. I'm up for the challenge. So then we back up. Oh, wait, no. Go past that one and then back up. Nice. Pick that one up. And then I want to go, away from the crazy sun at the bottom. There's a demon after us in the time tunnel. And there's one more cart. I believe that's the last one over here. So switch the track. There we go. Let's see if we can make it. Oh, the cows are in the way, though. So you have to sit there and wait for the cows to get out of the way. But you get the idea. This is the best train game, and we played every video game ever. So of all the video games on all platforms, this is the very best game with trains. If you were a big fan of trains, this is the game to play. If you were in Japan, I guess, to play in the arcades. Yeah, the clouds, I guess, are more enemies. But it depends on what level you go to, because there are other levels besides this main rural level. But I would say for Time Tunnel, though, the control is simple control, but the gameplay is pretty cool. I'm gonna go 4 stars for Time Tunnel. Of all the arcade games you could play at the time, it's pretty good, and it's something a little fresh and different compared to all the other games out there. All right, yeah, and the fuel, the running out of fuel is another good point. It's making that concept, but works really well for a train game. All right, and with that, let's leave Japan's arcades and go to the Atari home computer and play some Tumblebugs. Let's take a look at Tumblebugs, starting with the box. This is Bob Bishop's Tumblebugs. Oh man, nice front of the box. Looks like we're going to Egypt. Got some bugs under a magnifying glass or a pyramid. This one is by Datasoft. Flip over the back and it says, wait a second. Who is it, Bob Bishop or Mark Riley? Maybe the port by Mark Riley of Tumblebugs is for the Atari. The hot sand of Egyptian desert spotted with great stone pyramids. Monuments pay homage to great kings like Tut, Ramses, Imhotep, and blah, 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 blah. Mazes. That's what we want to get to. One lesser-known pyramid stands apart from the rest. It is the tomb of King Tutsenkoop. Tuttenskoop had been king for 3 weeks when he was caught erasing 18 minutes of hieroglyphics from the court records. As punishment, he was cursed to spend eternity wandering his tomb, picking up tiny leaves while being chased by vicious tumblebugs. His only reward for his labor is another maze, more leaves and more tumblebugs. Tumblebugs is fast, high-resolution arcade game that's challenging, addicting, and fun. Oh, that's true. Is this the one that also goes by, like, dung beetles, too? So maybe that's what it is. The Atari version is called Tumblebugs, but yeah, it's called different ones. Oh yeah, and also Megabug. This is the one. Yeah, it's called dung beetles in some places, and then we'll see it again on the Coco as Megabug. That's right. And there's the 5 1/4 floppy disk for Tumblebugs on the Atari. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, yeah, so if you're familiar with a different title, we'll probably see that one later. We also have the manual. If you open up the first sleeve, this is what you get. Tumblebugs. So the original was Bob Bishop's, and then this one was the port by Mark Riley. Yeah, there we go. Object of the game is move your player, the little white critter in the center of the magic magnifier box, around a maze, clear away the white dots. And move around. As you move around the screen, you're going to leave a trail of red dots behind you. 8 voracious tumblebugs wander the maze randomly until they cross your tail. Tumblebugs follow these trails, eating red dots as they move. If you can avoid them and clear the maze, you're rewarded with a harder maze. Ooh, congratulations. And 8 new tumblebugs. The white dot in the maze is worth 10 points, 1 point subtracted from your score every time you're unable to eat a dot. So speed is important. And the controls are, if you use the keyboard, but we're on the Atari. We're going to plug in our VCS joystick. You can also use the cursor control keys if you want. And then the joystick button, make sure it's properly connected to the controller track number 1. Push the stick forward to move them up, down, left, and right. It's moving through a maze, kind of like Pac-Man. If you enter a command to your player to an intersection, you push the joystick at an angle, they'll move in the diagonal direction. And is there any buttons around? I don't think there is. I think it's just moving. Yeah, that's it. Special features, press the escape key to pause the game. It's a big feature right now. And the strategy is the tumblebugs aren't very smart creatures. Once they start eating, you can't tell the difference between an old tail and a new one. This gives you a chance to avoid them by maneuvering around islands, leaving forked trails of red dots to lead them off in other directions. They're not insects in the second maze. Tumblebugs are slow but persistent. They move half as fast as the player, so all you do, there's no power-ups. You just move around the maze. So it's like Pac-Man, let's take away all the power-ups, make a bigger maze, and all you're doing is avoiding them. That's kind of the idea of Tumblebugs, but with the catch of that magnifying glass. All right, for other versions, we have 2 different ones by Datasoft. Let's pop in and play Tumblebugs by Mark Riley at sometime in May 1982. by Datasoft, also by Gentry Software. Either one. Yes. Yes, I'm with you. Tandy is a little bit slow, but that's all right. We'll still see him. Oh, Tana, that's right. From the Universal Mummy movies. Nice shout out. That's right. Dung Beetles is what it was called on the Apple II. All right, so as usual, when we play a computer game that's an arcade-style game, they like to do an attract mode. I love that. So I'm not playing. It's just, you know, doing like an arcade cabinet. All right, let's push start on our Atari. But first, is there options? Options? No, I didn't see any in the manual. What about select? So this is me pushing the buttons on the Atari and nothing happens. So it's just start. And we're in. This is randomizing the maze every single time you play. Notice how fast it built. And it's got La Cucaracha playing. If you're keeping track of all the public domain music we've been hearing here on the channel. And I'll take it. So the way this is the maze is zoomed in, so it's kind of occluding your view. And you just need to avoid the bugs around, capturing all of the white dots. Once you get all the white dots, oh, see, the dead ends are so deadly. Can I make it out? Okay, I'm good. Once you get all the white dots, then you move on to the next level. And every time you make a red trail, that's how the tumble bugs know how to follow you. So this right here, since I have to go back, okay, he didn't follow that one. That's good. And you can look ahead on the maze and see where they are. They're dark blue dots right now on the ends of the maze. Essentially, I was kind of bashing it, saying it's Pac-Man without the power-ups. But the idea that you're zoomed into a certain place and you don't have the same visibility like that. Oh, wow, and there's talking? Nice, and the bugs dance. Okay, if they destroy us, they dance. So start, and I think, yes, once you die, they randomize it again. So they just built a whole new maze from the beginning. And you're trying to get all of the white dots. So yeah, I can see, I get some visibility of the outside, seeing where they are. If you're tuning in and you're watching this, it seems very tiny. Like the maze itself is so small. And we played lots of different maze games. Just straight maze games, not even Pac-Man games. This one's kind of doing the same thing, but the zoom in is where you get the best view of the close-up, because it's kind of hard to see everything else. It's a really large maze. This would take quite a bit of time to finish the whole thing, getting all the white dots. Quickly take corners for a few dots worth, then double back. Oh, that's true, because they're following the red. And then it also gives you a preview or a synopsis of what you did, like where we went when we played the game. Nice touch. All right, so I'm going to go around this side. And this time, we're going to go down here. I'm looking on the left. There's quite a bit over there. So I'm going to head to the... looking on the right, I mean. There's a bunch over there, so let's go over to the left. And you can see they're starting to follow me and pick up the red dots. Get them down to the corners. And I can't get to the corner there. We'll make our way around here. Now, I still like the idea. Maze games are still pretty fun for the time. And if this was on your Atari, I would consider this around the average range for all the computer games you could play. The gameplay is slightly different, but it's not doing a whole lot to push the maze genre. How they follow you around, those a nice touch. Oh, really? Yeah, there's something to hold. They said in the manual that if you held down something, yeah, I forget what it was on the Atari, but it would do the same thing. So this is essentially just leading tumble bugs away. And I bet they're following back here. Okay, they didn't come that way. There's one on top. Let's see if he follows me. Yeah, so he went the other direction. I led him away. All right, so if you went back to 1982 and you had all the options for every computer game, you know, you're in the store, you're about to buy it, and you knew what this game was, what would you say this is? Is this an average title for all the computer games you could play? Or is this above average? I wouldn't say this is one of the best computer games you could play, and I wouldn't say this would be an excellent or great game. Tumble Bugs is an interesting idea, but as far as every game you can see up to this point, I'm still going to say it's about an above average title. For all the computer games, it's not really pushing or doing something super impressive. They should have. That would be a nice touch. Or whenever they won, you saw the bugs how they danced. They did a little they should have done Walk Like an Egyptian. Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah. Oh, very nice. Yeah, so I'm going to go 3.5 stars for Tumblebugs. Curtis is going 3.5 or 4. Very good. And with that, let's see what our next game is.
These families are learning about
We're still on the Atari home computer. This is Tutti Frutti. Let's take a look at Tutti Frutti, starting with the box. That is some awesome computer artwork. Man, oh man, that's one of the best. Who is this? Ross did this? Very cool. So this game's by Alan Newman. And we flip it over in the back. This is by Adventure International, which is how they do their other games. But man, Adventure just kicked it up a notch. This front of the box is one of the best Adventure International front of the boxes we've ever seen. That makes me want to play it. It looks so cool, like a cartoon. So this is by Alan M. Newman. Get ready to savor a Fruity Fest served up Atari style. Tutti Frutti is here, and Adventure International's got it. There's a wild, wacky place somewhere between Never Neverland and next Thursday, where an orchard of fruit relaxes and ripens under peppermint sun. It's a great place for your famished, fruit-munching hungry to pick up a quick snack. So they're kind of taking the motif of the let's go eat everything, like Pac-Man started. Tutti Frutti is a colorful machine language game for 1 or 2 players that'll have the whole family camped out around the Atari. We'll see about that. The action takes place in the jungle clearing where your joystick-controlled hungry chows down on a variety of exotic fruits and pastries, bite the bananas, gobble grapes, polish off a pear. Be sure to avoid trees and bugs, eat everything, and advance to the next level, and maybe, just maybe, you'll get a crack at the key to everlasting tutti fruitiness. It has high-res graphics, vivid colors, lively sounds. Get ready if you are. Tutti Frutti's here, and the action's never been wackier. Guaranteed to be grape fun for the... Oh, man, they even did dad puns. So it's got sounds, arcade, 6 to adults, what it says. Average completion time is only 5 minutes. Nice. Yeah, maybe we'll be like Food Fight, which we haven't seen yet. And there's the ad we would see in magazines for Tutti Frutti by Adventure International, along with Bug Off. And there's the cassette tape we're going to pop in. And an example of the screenshot. Oh, by the way, that screenshot is what it would look like if you didn't have the artifacting. We're going to actually have the artifacting on as if we're playing on the screen, because the black and white is not really black and white as if you were to play it then. Let's take a look at the manual for Tutti Frutti. The playing field is a jungle clearing completely surrounded by trees. Primary game elements that exist are the hungry, which is you, the bugs, and various fruit and trees. So after you select your game level, looks like we have a total of 15 levels possible. And at certain times, a bug will collapse from exhaustion, change color. When this occurs, they're vulnerable and can be eaten by your hungry for additional playing time. So this quote-unquote manual is just the sleeve inside of this would be right behind the front of the box. Or sleeve, depending on how you bought them. And then they show the examples of your controls, and then how to load if you're playing on disc version, I think, or cassette. So it came on both disc and cassette. The one we're going to be playing on is the disc version.
No foreign languages. The Atari family.
Okay, let's pop in and play Tutti Frutti at sometime in May 1982 by Adventure International. I do like Food Fight. I'm really wanting to play that one. I love that we can pop these in and just go instead of having to wait for the loading. Did the loading, when you had to wait 5 to 10 minutes for a game, make the game better because you had to wait so long you were invested? Hey, we got no bananas. Another song. They're just putting in as many as they can in front of computers. Oh, and I hope that's us. Is that the hungry? All right, option to cycle through them. And you can see here, this is me pushing the option button on our Atari computer. We have normal, slow, superbug, CT, and GTIA. And I think that's monitor. Does it explain that in the manual? CT and GT? 11? I don't think so. No, it doesn't explain 1 through 15. Yeah, it doesn't say what it is. And then we also have how much food is going to be there. So if you do a 2-player game, sadly, it is not 2 players simultaneous. It's still 2-player alternating. So I'm going to do a 1-player game, start with the snack option, and then let's push start on our Atari and go. Yeah, that's a good point. Here we go. So if you saw the screenshot, this was all black and white, but because of having the monitor and playing the game back in the day, you would get this artifacting that makes it look like colors are on the screen. And all I do is move around, grab, oh, there we go, get all the snacks I can, and I get to use my Atari VCS joystick. But there's no power-ups. I'm trying the red button. Yeah, I got nothing. And all I'm doing is just avoiding. Can I... Oh, I see. So as soon as they wait long enough, they get transformed. There you go. You collect all the fruit without dying, and you move on to the next level. But it's essentially like you're playing tag, or you're running away from enemies, trying to eat everything up. So if you're expecting food fight, well, food fight doesn't exist, but it is definitely not that. Just move around and eat it all. The lips, though, look a lot like the Jawbreaker lips. I wonder if they're trying to cash in on the popularity of Jawbreaker, because that was big right now. Oh, no. Oh, gosh, yes. Terrible. Oh, that's a good point. If it was in other regions, it may have been that way. At one point, whenever I was playing, I kept some of the games black and white, particularly the crystalware titles. And then someone pointed out about the artifacting if we wanted to have that. I think we got it. Yes, moved on to level 3. I like keeping the artifacting off if it's mostly text that we have to read because, man, it's pretty hard to see when the artifacting's on. And then we have a game that is requiring graphics, or you know that they wrote it for the purpose of having these kinds of colors. You look at it now, it's muted brown and just looks terrible, but you can get whatever you want, or you get whatever you try to get back in the day. And I applaud them for making it work with the artifacting. All right, so this one actually reminds me of a crystalware title. The characters on the screen, the size of them, are really reminiscent to something we would have seen on crystalware. The only thing it's not doing is the scrolling. We usually have a very large area. Oh, is that ice cream? Nice. Oh, the ice cream warps you? Okay. Oh, but if he moves diagonally, though, you're going out. And all you got to do is move around, collect all the fruit, and not die, and that's it. There's an enemy going on the outside now. There's tons of fruit to pick up. Yeah, you got to be really fast. And if you play a two-player game, it's just going to go back and forth. One player takes their turn, the other player takes their turn, and then round and around you go. So I'd say for all the computer games at the time, this one is actually all right for an arcade game. It's not pushing anything as far as gameplay goes. I'd say Tutti Frutti has an amazing box, but as the game itself is very limiting. And you can also tell the way it was programmed seems to be tile-based. So I'd say this is about average for all the computer games you could play, which is a shame because this might be one of the first times we've seen a title where the box looks amazing and the game is not as amazing as the box. It's a motif that we'll be seeing time and time again as we press through every video game. There we go, and then just gotta get... Oh, quick, quick, quick! Yeah, because you move at the top one tile at a time, it feels like you're a little limited for movement. Yeah. And Curtis is going 3 at best. I'm with you there. Yeah, Tutti Frutti, I want the front of the box like on a t-shirt, though. I mean, it's really good. As far as the game, though, we'll say 3 stars. Perfectly average for 1982. All right, and let's see what our next game is. Here we go, on the TRS-80 color computer, this is Venturer. Oh yeah, really excited for this one. This one we don't have a lot of information for. We do have advertisement flyers. This is one by Computer Shack. You see Venturer over here on the far right side. Fantastic arcade game comes to life on your color computer screen. Entering each room, you'll find new treasures and challenges. Using the joystick, get the treasure while fending off attacking creatures. This great new adaptation is Aardvark's exciting. Excitement puts the excitement back into your color computer. 16K needed. And then another example of the advertisement flyer. This is an Aardvark 1. Yeah, there we go. Aardvark 80. And then an example of the screenshot. And as far as the manual goes, this one's kind of a cool one. It is what you would see inside the, like when you bought the game originally. How do you load the game? It uses machine language, so we'll be using M to load it up, and then controls, or the object of the game is to gather treasure from the rooms on the screen. When you enter a room, it'll expand to fill the entire screen. When you gather the treasure from all the rooms, the game will restart another level of play, refill the rooms, and there's 63 levels of play. The controls is the right joystick, has the movement of your man, and fires your blaster. Fires the right joystick, there's also a restart button to start another game. The left one is used for the pause. If the phone rings, you can push the left joystick down to stop the game and up to restart. The rules are you cannot kill the hall monsters in the main maze. They're big, armored, and invulnerable. You can kill the monsters in the treasure rooms and get a score for all those that you kill before you gather the treasure. If you do not get the score for those you kill after the treasure is gone, you could stay in a room for too long, barricades will appear which could cut off the entrance. If this sounds familiar, this game is essentially Venture that we saw in the arcades for a home computer. You get 3 lives when you start off, and then we want to be able to finish the levels off with a little bit of artwork down there at the bottom. Pretty nice. Wow, good point. A high schooler did this? That's pretty cool. All right, let's pop in and play some Venture by Dave Edson at sometime in May 1982. Here we go. Really excited to show this one because I love Venture. It's really fun to see this one as one of the first ones you could play at home. Venturer. Now, did that one pass by legality, or did someone sue? Because that's pretty close to the name. Wow, that's awesome. And in machine language is pretty good. There you go. Hey, Terrible Tom. Was that his code name in high school? And copyright by Candy. Okay, so the game goes right in. Control is awesome. I'm the single green pixel in the center. I mean, you got to be a green pixel in the Coco. And as we go around the room, it's very similar to Venture. I move into a room, but instead of getting the animation of the room getting larger, it just goes right into the room. And as you can see, enemies come in and attack. When you kill them, they turn into a cross, but the cross is still deadly. So make sure you don't touch that one. But if you take too long, uh-oh, look. It starts drawing lines down on the screen. It's kind of like the evil auto to get you out of the room, or you're taking too long. But not nearly as dangerous as that. All right, so first treasure acquired. Move on to our next one, and you can see we got enemies coming at us here. The movement and freedom is pretty cool. Oh yeah, it's great. And to see a Venture-style game like this is awesome. And then we're back in the top-down. This is where we're just avoiding the other enemies. Find the flashing doors. Make yourself in. Hey, look, it's the ghost from Pac-Man. How many are we trying to rip off here? And then you gotta wait for the cross. Don't touch the cross. Make our way to the treasure, and probably taking too long, it's gonna start drawing lines. Yep. Quick, quick, quick. Got it. Okay, so let's make our way over to the left side. Can we do it with this guard there? No, we'll try for the other one up here at the top. It is giving us 8-way of movement, so I'm not just confined to a square. Nope, wait, go back in. Oh, the enemies changed. I left the room and came back, and then they just switched to somebody else. I don't see the treasure, though. There's no treasure in here. Maybe we missed it because we left the room. Okay, so let's make our way down the side and the far left. Oh, he got me. The flashing's real. I don't know. I won't be able to slip by the ones at the bottom, so I have to go left. Nice and easy. There we go. Okay, and here's our last one. Now, it doesn't do what Venture does in the arcades, where it switches up the way the worlds look, and it doesn't have that role-playing or dungeon crawl feel as much as the arcade does. But you can see now we've got all the treasures, and we're back at the beginning. Oh, and they got me. Oh, okay, so the main room is a big one. You just have to go on one side, then you get it. And also, whenever you go into a room, it doesn't really match the size. At least the one at the top does. And it doesn't change up the room. So whenever you complete a level, it maintains the same layout for the overview. The map on top. Nice. Very well done. Machine language plays really, really well, and it is one of the first times we've seen Venture you could play at home. I'd say of all the computer games you could play at the time, Venture is incredible. It's a very well done game. I'm going to go 4 stars. Of all the computer games you could play, it is an excellent title. I wouldn't say it's one of the best titles as far as replayability, but taking an arcade game like that and putting it here is awesome. What would you rate the Coco version of Venturer of all the computer games you could play thus far? It's an incredible title. Alright, and with that, this is where we got to put our video game playing on pause this evening. If you could go back to 1982, what would you rate these games on our 5-star rating scale? That's it for today, and like I always say, if you can't think of an original idea for a video game, just copy it. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are Perpetually Retro, and we will catch you next time.